how do you do the marketing to the people? Like, do you do surveys? Do you do just kind of one-on-ones with people? Or how do you collect the information kind of thing? And then how do you kind of, um, I guess, train or kind of communicate? This is just kind of interesting for me because like what mode of communication is the most effective in your marketing?
There's a lot of ways of doing this. When you first start a program, you usually find out there's always a group in the organization outside of the real estate group that is responsible for a lot of the things that you do. And they understand the whole uh, organization. And so, in what you do is you meet with them, you strategize who should be brought in as an advisory committee. Should it be best approached? And then at the same time, um, identify who has to be the people that you need their buy-in. That's really, really critical. They don't need you to be the process, but when you do presentations, who do you get? So once you established your advisory committee, you usually go and meet, they're usually like department heads or section heads. And so you find out what their requirements and their needs are. And a lot of times we do things with drawings and floor plans, but not everybody's visual. And then we eventually get into where we do mock-ups. And we have these folks who will come up and they'll do like the first pass of the mock-ups. And then once we all agree that these are good potential solutions, we will then open it up to a much bigger audience and we have people coming in. I remember when I was doing this when I was in the environmental sustainability arena, we call them the champions and the laggers. And so, you had the folks. So we always made sure we had people who were champions and, each group would have their champions, but we'd include the laggers because you really wanted them to understand the process and where it was going from. And we had a great system. We would open it up, and then we would not only open it up to the end users, but we also opened up to people who operated the spaces, the people who maintained the spaces, and because it was important. Are we blocking anything? Are we going to create something that shouldn't be happening? Do we have enough for cleaning? And we'd also building services. We always brought them in because they're the ones who are responsible for maintaining everything. And we'd get their comment and feedback, and it's very valuable. It's amazing. There's things that you go, oh yeah, that makes sense, or their experience will tell you, you really need to add like an additional hinge for support here or whatever. And so those are easy fixes, and it's easier to do it before you roll out thousands of them. And
Yes.
you know, so and then with the mock-ups, we also open it up to the people within the real estate group who manage projects, because they're out there listening to clients and they're out there seeing what they like and don't like. And we take all that feedback and we prioritize what is, easily doable. And the things that we say, okay, these are the things that are going to fall in that 20%, they're just so highly specialized. And then we put together a whole presentation on that. And so with the mock-up, there's a really good way that we developed is you have people come through and we have like little color stickers and we identify, green, I love it, yellow, it's okay, red, no go, or something like that. And people would just put the stickers in. And so this way, you want to make the evaluations easy for people. First,
Yes.
we go over and we tell them an overview of what we were doing, how we were achieving it, and everything. And then we asked them to go and rate it, and we clearly defined what the ratings were. And then they were allowed to put additional comments. But they just went in and put stickers on the pieces of furniture. And then later we counted how many red dots or how many yellow dots or whatever. And because a lot of times we're comparing manufacturer to manufacturer as well as item to item. And makes it so easy for people, and and also it's a great people gathering time. It's fun to watch them going through, and you find people,
Yeah.
going, and
Yeah.
they start talking to people they don't even know. So it's a really nice unity thing. But we've also had visioning sessions. When we were at when I was at the university, we were embarking on a 1,000-room dormitory. And at that time, it was identified that the dormitory furniture across campus was coming to the point where it needed to be replaced. So we did a whole evaluation of what the new dorm furniture should be. And we did it in multiple ways. We had visioning sessions with students. We also did it on social media with my stories, and we put out different things. And we asked people to identify if they were current student or alum, or if they were forthcoming students.
Yeah.
And we got probably about 8 or 9,000 responses on that one. And and we did all of these different ways. So between the in-person meetings, and then the people who support the dormitories, again, it's the people who move the furniture around and are there when people move in, what they like and don't like. And it's just gathering that kind of data and then going back and presenting it to each group and get their buy-in.
Yeah.
And and I think that's really, really important. And then you're always going to miss something, but it's going to be less than what you think it's going to be. And then when you first start rolling it out, you go back and you do an evaluation to check, was this successful? What do we need to tweak? What do we need to change? And it's okay to change. It's okay to make adjustments. That's how you learn. But but the workspace, I think just keeping it flexible, because I think it's just going to keep evolving. And as technology becomes more and more part of our lives, it's hard for us to really project what is important. At the same time, you have a lot more diversity in the different, what do you call it, generations on how they work and how they approach things. So I think there's a lot of things to take into consideration. And the more flexible you are, the easier your job is.